So Samsung's new foldables are officially out in the wild, which means the tech world's giant collective eye is already swiveling to what's next. And you know what that means? All the buzz is starting to build around the flagship of flagships, the Galaxy S Ultra. So today, let's dive into all the rumors and see what they're saying about the upcoming Galaxy S26 Ultra.
Here's how we're going to break it all down for you. First, we'll hit the big stuff, the launch date and the price. Then, we'll really get into the hardware, the design, the screen, the cameras, and of course, the performance. And at the end, we'll wrap it all up and ask that big question. Is this thing going to be worth waiting for?
All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, Samsung's next flagship. It's a familiar cycle, right? As soon as the foldables launch, the spotlight immediately shifts to the next big S-series phone, and the S26 Ultra is shaping up to be the next crown jewel.
Which really brings us to the core question here. What do we actually know about the Galaxy S26 Ultra? I mean, the launch is still a good ways out, but the rumor mill is already churning, and it's painting a surprisingly detailed picture of what could be a monster of a phone. Okay, this brings us to the two questions that are probably on everyone's mind right now. When can we actually get our hands on it? And how much is this thing going to set us back?
You know what's really interesting is just how consistent Samsung has been. If you look at their playbook, the S24 landed right at the end of January, the S25 in early February. So if you just follow that trend, it's a pretty safe bet that we'll see the Galaxy S26 Ultra show up sometime in mid-February 2026.
And what about the price tag? Well, all the rumors are pointing towards stability. The S25 Ultra launched at $1299, and inside sources are saying the new processor isn't expected to drive up production costs. So because of that, there's a really good chance we'll see that same $1299 starting price once again.
Next up, let's talk about the phone itself. You know, the actual physical device. The look, the feel, and that all-important screen that we're going to be glued to.
Don't expect a massive design overhaul, but we could see some nice refinements. The big one is that the body could get noticeably thinner, maybe dropping down to between 7 and 8 millimeters. Now, for all you S Pen fans out there, there was a bit of a scare. A rumor floated around that Samsung was testing a version without the digitizer. That's the magic layer that lets the S Pen work. But a trusted leaker confirmed the test results just weren't good enough, so it looks like the S Pen is safe. And an under-display camera? Yeah, probably not going to happen. Samsung just yanked it from the Fold 7, so it's super unlikely to pop up here.
We're fully expecting this phone to keep its absolutely gorgeous 6.9-inch AMOLED display. But the real headline here is the rumored addition of a new third-generation anti-reflective glass. And it might sound like a small thing, but trust me, it's a huge deal for usability. It means way fewer reflections when you're outside in the bright sun. It's one of those quality-of-life upgrades that makes a massive difference.
And now for what is, for many people, the main event, the cameras. This is usually where the Ultra really lives up to its name. And from the sounds of it, the S26 Ultra could be getting some pretty major upgrades in the photography department.
Okay, let's break this down piece by piece. The main sensor is rumored to stay at that massive 200-megapixel count, but look at the aperture. It's getting a huge upgrade to a variable f/1.4. That's a big deal. The 3x telephoto lens is also getting a little love, with a rumored sensor bump from 10 to 12 megapixels. There's also talk of a whole new generation of laser autofocus. And for all you content creators, check this out. The front camera might be able to shoot 4K slow motion at 120 frames per second. Wow.
So, you hear that new f/1.4 aperture, and it sounds kind of technical, right? But what does it actually mean for your pictures? Well, it's simple. It lets the main camera pull in 47% more light. That is going to be a game changer for low-light photos, giving you brighter, much cleaner shots with way less grainy noise. This is a huge win for anyone taking pictures indoors or after the sun goes down.
All right, let's pop the hood and talk about what's really powering this beast. We're talking about the processor, the RAM, and of course, the battery that's going to keep it all going.
Whoa! Okay, this slide right here tells a massive story. The rumored Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 2 chip is projected to hit a mind-blowing score of 4 million on the Antutu benchmark. Now, to give you some context, the fastest Android phones of 2025 are topping out around 2.66 million. This isn't just a little step up. It's a colossal leap that could completely reset the bar for performance across the entire industry.
So what's driving that absolutely insane score? Well, we're looking at a new chip that can hit speeds of up to 4.6 gigahertz, plus a rumored boost in RAM up to 16 gigs. And that extra RAM is going to be absolutely crucial because Samsung is going all in on its on-device Galaxy AI features, and those things need a ton of memory to run well.
Now let's talk battery. For years, Samsung is stuck with a 5,000 mAh battery in its Ultra phones, and the S26 Ultra is expected to keep that same capacity. But there's a twist. The company is reportedly looking into using new silicon-carbon batteries. The cool thing about this tech is that it lets you pack the same amount of power into a smaller physical space. That could be the secret to how they're making the phone thinner without sacrificing that all-day battery life.
And finally, some fantastic news on charging speeds. Leaked code that was actually found in Samsung's own software suggests the S26 Ultra could finally make the jump from 45-watt charging up to 60 watts. This is an upgrade people have been asking for years, and it means you'll spend way less time stuck to a wall outlet.
So, after digging through all of these leaks and all of these rumors, we finally land at the conclusion. Let's tie this all together and figure out what it all means.
If you boil it all down, there seem to be 3 truly game-changing upgrades on the horizon. First, that absolutely massive leap in performance. This phone is going to be ridiculously fast. Second, the camera upgrades actually seem really meaningful, especially that new f1.4 aperture for low-light shots. And third, that practical, long-overdue upgrade to 60-watt fast charging.
And that really brings us to our final thought. When you look at all these potential improvements, the raw power, the smarter camera, the faster charging, are we looking at a genuine quantum leap for smartphones? Or is this just another really good but ultimately incremental update in the endless tech cycle? That, in the end, is for you to decide.